Hi everyone, thanks for downloading and listening in to InCorp Group's Pro Business Podcast series. I'm Eric here, the Chief Business Development Officer of the group and your usual host. And my usual co-host, Elton, is here with us as well. In today's episode, we have our colleagues from our Malaysia office, Pei Hao and Adam here. Maybe Elton, I'll let you do a self-introduction.
Sure, thanks Eric. Hi everyone, welcome back to our next episode. So as Eric's introduced, my name is Elton. I'm the Deputy Chief Operating Officer of InCorp. And today we are very happy to invite our Malaysian colleagues, both Adam and Pei Hao, on this podcast to share more about Malaysia. So now I'll leave Adam and Pei Hao to just give a brief self-introduction about themselves.
Hi guys, this is Adam. So I'm the co-country head for Malaysia of the InCorp office. I'm looking after mostly on the corporate secretarial and company registrations matter. So I will cover most of the area later.
Hi, I'm Pei Hao. I'm the other co-country head of Malaysia, and I'm usually covering the accounting side and also the business advisory side for the Malaysian office.
Thank you both. So for all our listeners today, we will focus on Malaysia, obviously. For companies who are looking to expand into the country, we will use a Q&A style format to discuss on some of the important points that will include general business outlook of the country and including certain country stats. We'll talk about key industries that are trending in the country or industries that will do well in the country. We'll talk about, since Malaysia is a big country, we'll also understand from our colleagues in terms of what are some of the key states or cities that will be suitable for foreign companies or in terms of the industry type. We will have an understanding of favorable government policies for foreign companies who are going into the country. What are some of the incentives, some of the tax exemptions schemes that are available. And lastly, we will also close off with a brief company setup process and some of the options available. InCorp Group, again, as a recap, we are a Singapore headquartered group that specializes in providing corporate services as well as various forms of business advisory within 7 countries in South Asia. So for more details of what we do and where we operate, please visit www.incorp.asia for more information. Okay, so maybe Elton, do you want to ask the first question then?
Sure, thanks Eric. Hi Adam and Pei Hao. So I think everybody is always very curious about how Malaysia is, and especially at what Eric alluded to at the earlier start of our session about the COVID situation. So can you maybe share with us a bit more about the general business outlook on Malaysia and also include for our listeners the population, the age and the demographics of Malaysia in particular?
Okay, thanks, Alton. So basically, Malaysia has a population of around 32 million people, and we are a multicultural society. So it's pretty harmonious back in Malaysia. In terms of general business outlook, we are always economic focused. So there is a lot of economic activities happening, and we are a relatively young population. So in terms of workforce, we have a growing graduates coming to the market, and the good thing about setting up a company in Malaysia is a huge majority of these graduates are fluent and proficient in English and both Malay language, which is good for a lot of global companies looking to set up in Malaysia.
Thank you. So in terms of the COVID situation, right, I think this is a question we can't avoid. So in Malaysia now, how is the government controlling the COVID, and what's your outlook on this portion?
I would say the situation is under control, even though we are on the MCO 2.0. But based on the latest news, is that we'll most likely lifted that early February and move on to a softer kind of movement control, because actually our vaccination will start in end Feb, and our Ministry of Health Director General came out with a statement saying that hopefully by end of 2021 or early 2022 we can cover 70% of the populations. So in terms of that, actually we will say we are quite optimistic.
Okay, so I would say is in terms of vaccination process, So to both of you, right? For Malaysia itself, what are some of the key industries that is trending or popular in the country, or businesses that will likely do well in the country?
Okay, so historically, Malaysia has always been very good in doing manufacturing, and recently the semiconductor industry has picked up significantly, right? So Malaysia is one of the top countries for semiconductor companies to open and then to supply regionally across Asia. Another industry that I think is very good to set up or is trending in Malaysia is the halal industry. So there's a lot of halal hub or companies that are looking to tap into the halal certification or halal manufacturing. They are opening up in Malaysia as well. And then the third thing is Islamic finance. So Malaysia is one of the top countries that issues sukuk, which is Islamic bond. So that is one of the on the financial side, that is one of the good industries that are picking up. And lastly, one of the growing trends in Malaysia is the BPO, business process outsourcing. So a lot of multinational companies are actually outsourcing their office operations and setting up their operational hub in Malaysia.
Okay, thanks, Pei Hao and Adam. Maybe you want to share with us, Malaysia is a very big country. So what are some of the key states or cities that are very suitable for companies to consider, especially for foreign companies who are seeking to invest in Malaysia? So typically people, when they first think of Malaysia, they will think of KL. Yeah. So any other cities that are very conducive for foreign investors?
Sure. So pretty much, I would say I would take it like and another tier one cities would be Penang and Johor, because both of these states are traditionally really strong in manufacturing and with port of its own. Right, this is tier one, and there are also tier two cities, for example, Kedah and Pahang. These are mostly where you can see a lot of halal hubs being set up, because the state governments are trying to promote this industry as well.
Okay, but Malaysia is split into two parts, right? You have West Malaysia and you have East Malaysia. Are there investment opportunities in East Malaysia?
I would be honest, East Malaysia is pretty much more on the oil and gas plantation as well as fishery. So it's because East Malaysia are richer in natural resources. So this will be the industry that they are focusing on. And with a vast land area, palm oil is another focus area over there.
I see. And because, as a follow-up question, because Malaysia is so big, there's many cities and states, for foreign companies to decide which state to go in, if they decide to set up a company in KL, but they want to do manufacturing outside of KL, say in Penang, which is the north of West Malaysia, is this possible?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible, which is quite common for MNC as well.
Okay, I understand. So, what are some of the favorable national government policies for companies who, in terms of incentives or tax exemptions? Maybe you can also explain to the listeners here today as well, if, state to state, whether there are unique state to state policies or tax incentives exemptions for foreign companies.
Okay, in terms of tax incentive, it's a federal matter, so it will cover all states, which is good in a way. So basically, currently the government is trying to attract a lot more strategic FDI on a selected industry, for example, high tech, biotech, etc. So if these companies, they are actually eligible for income tax exemptions between 70% to 100% for 5 years. And there's a potential of getting extension as well. In terms of respective state, it varies from sector to sectors, because different states will have different kind of strategic sectors they want to focus on.
I see. But are there tax exemption schemes available, say, for startups or for the younger tech companies going into the country?
Yes. That's why I think the just now the income tax exemption I mentioned about 70% to 100% include like all those like tech startups. So they fall under the category of selected sectors.
I see.
Okay, thanks. I think that's quite interesting to note that there are quite a generous suite of tax incentives and exemptions in Malaysia. So if let's say someone from a foreign country and looking to set up business in Malaysia, what would you suggest for them to enter Malaysia into? Because there are many different forms of business organizations or entities that are set up. And what's the typical process, and whether there's any restrictions on foreign ownership or directorship?
Okay, so usually for our foreign clients, we advise them to go with Sendirian Berhad, or in English equivalent would be private limited company. So because with this structure, right, the company can be 100% foreign owned, right? Just that it needs to have local resident directors. So yeah, so long if let's say they have a Malaysian partner, the partner can be a director here, or if they require like a local nominee director, we can assist them on this.
Okay, so that's it for the local resident director. But is there a minimum paid out capital requirement?
No. Our minimum payout is RM1.
Oh,
Okay, so it's similar to Singapore in a way.
Yes, correct. Very similar.
Yes, and I think it's worthwhile. I think as well, there's very minimal foreign restrictions of ownership in Malaysia. So most of the industries, foreign nationals or foreign companies are able to own 100% of the company in Malaysia.
and how long is the typical setup process?
Okay, the incorporation can happen within a day. That is the quickest. But of course, I mean, with the COVID situation, we're estimating between 2 to 3 days.
Which is still very fast. Yes.
Okay, thanks Adam and Pei Hao for today's informative session. All right, and we have concluded today's podcast session. And if you do have any other questions, feel free to write to me, Eric, Adam, and Pei Hao. All right, for anything regarding Malaysia. And for further information, feel free to visit our website again at www.incorp.malaysia. So till then, we will see you at the next episode.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.